Hello and welcome to Cute Pixel. Today I am continuing my open source software development stream, continuing work on my Twitch craps table chatbot. For those of you who are in the chat room, you can see I am playing with that while the stream is getting started here. Let me switch over to my stream schedule. So today, right now, I'm working on open source software development, the Twitch craps table chatbot. My next stream will be Sunday, February 24th at 9 a.m. Please note that these times are United States Pacific time, so adjust your local time zone appropriately. I will at times leave the bot running in the chat room, so if you do wish to play with the bot and experiment, you are welcome to do so whenever it is running. For the moment, let me just go over my notes of what I've been doing and what I want to do today. So last time, I kind of did some infrastructure kind of tasks. Ignore case when processing chat commands, so that way if somebody types in craps or balance or one of the commands either in full uppercase or a mixed uppercase, the command will still work. So we basically ignore case when processing commands. we've added in a help message for an unrecognized command. So if you type craps and then have a unrecognized subcommand, we will have a error message come out, or we'll give you help. We'll say what you can do to get help to hopefully resolve whatever issue you might be having with finding the right command. So we got one thing to take care of. There we go. What else? Add in point display to the roll output. So now whenever you roll, or whenever the dice are rolled, it'll tell you what the current point is, and then tell you the roll. And the roll has the 2 dice results followed by the die total in parentheses. We've added in support for pass odds. I was playing with that a little bit while the stream was getting started. We've also added in support for don't pass odds. And we've added support for the come bet. And the last thing I did last time over the weekend was to reduce the default rolling delay to 30 seconds. It felt like maybe a minute was a bit too much, although when I was playing with the bot while the stream was getting started, I did run into one issue where 30 seconds wasn't quite enough. So I might go back to 60 seconds. I'll have to think about that. But 30 seconds, if you're not sure what you're doing, might not be enough time. But if you know exactly what we're doing, it's probably fine. So we'll have to see. It just depends on how much interaction you want with the bot, whether you want the bot to force people to interact with it really quickly, or do you want people to have some time to chat and socialize. If you want that, you might even want to increase that delay to like 5 minutes or something, just so that people have plenty of time to chat and socialize, and the craps game is maybe kind of more of a background thing. For today, so I've got the remaining craps bits I want to continue to work on. There's don't come, there's come odds, don't come odds, there's place bets, field bets, hard ways, proposition, just the rest of the major bets, and I'll want to glance at the craps table guide and see if there's any others that I've missed, but those are the ones that I'm aware of off the top of my head. One thing I do want to consider right away is refactor the data structures for come bets. As you probably remember, come bets work much the same as the pass line. In fact, they're identical to the pass line, with the exception that you can only place a come bet when you already have a point. Otherwise, they work identical to the pass line bet. You basically you have your come out roll. A 2, 3, or 12 is a lose. A 7 or 11 is a win. Any other number establishes a point, and you have to hit that point before you roll another 7. And so for a come bet, we have a bunch of data structures to track the come bets. Let me just bring up the code, actually. Let's just get started with the code here. Why talk about the code and not show the code? So we use a map to store each type of bet. The map basically will map the Twitch username with the bet amount that they've placed. And it's like it's a basic hash table type data structure. And so what we've done is we've created a come bet map, a come 4 bets, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So we've got come bets for just the basic come bet. That's the come bet before you have a point. And it could be the automatic winner, automatic loser. Then we have, once you have established a point, we have come bets for 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Those are the come bets for when you actually have a point established for that bet. So a bet will start out as a come bet, and then once you establish a point, the bet will be moved to one of these other data structures. And that's okay, but there's a couple of areas where it leads to some not so great code. Let me show you a couple of these areas here. Yeah, so here's one where we have to iterate, or not, it's not even iterating, we're basically manually checking every single data structure to see if they have any bets before we decide, or actually, no, here we are getting the available balance for a player. And so we need to go through every single bet data structure and decrement their available balance based on any bets that they've made. And so we have to manually check each data structure individually here. What else do we have? There's at least one other area where we iterate over, or not iterate, but manually check all of those structures. Well, here's one. Here's another one here where we have to process all bets for all the different come bets. They basically lose, and so we could iterate. If we had a more efficient way of handling this, that would be great. Here we have to manually cause all the come bets to lose. If there's at least one more, well, there's two more. So here we go. We're migrating the come bets to their specific location. The process come bet point handles winners for a particular point, and then we'll copy or move the come bets from the main come bet to the come bet for the specific point. And so again, this is another one of those cases where we could simplify this if we come up with a better way of doing it. Where else? Oh yeah, here we go. Here we're checking all the bet data structures to see if any bets exist. If they do, then we continue to roll the dice automatically. If no bets exist, then we stop rolling the dice. And so this is another one of those cases where we could potentially simplify this with the more advanced data structure. And I think that's it. I'm just going to walk through the code here, see if there's anything else that catches my eye, but it's 3 or 4 different areas that I think could be improved by being more careful with our data structures. Okay, yeah, so that looks like it. So my thought is to use a sparse array for those data structures. So rather than having one property per, not one property, but rather than having the 7 properties we have now, we have the base combets property, then we have these 6 point combet properties. We could have like one property that is an array and have like, say, index 0 be the base combets, and then indexes 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 be the point combets. But it's going to be a sparse array because we're not going to have an index 1, 2, or 3, or we're not going to have an index 7. We're going to have index 0, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So I just want to experiment a little tiny bit and see how sparse arrays work. So to do this, I'm just going to take our code, comment all of it out. I'm going to say var foo is equal to an array. So let's try this. We'll say 0, 1, 2, 3. And we'll do console.log foo. Just to see what that looks like. Just doing some very basic testing here. Alright, so we have a simple array 0, 1, 2, 3. Now let's do the same thing, but let's make this a sparse array. We can say foo 0 is equal to A, foo 4 equal to B. I'll just do the different points here. So we have 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And just see what that looks like. Oh, nice. So it does work here. So we're seeing output for a sparse array. We have A at index 0, followed by 3 empty items. B, C, D, followed by 1 empty item. E, F, G. So there is a sparse array. It is being used as a sparse array. So we could do this. So let's just try it. Let's just try this and see how this improves our code here. do this. I don't know what's faster. Probably would have been faster to just uncomment the lines, but I'm committed now, so we'll go do this. Now let's take a look. Yeah, so let's say combets is equal to new. Well, we'll just make it an array. Then we'll delete these guys. Let's see, a knit. We probably want to move up. We'll leave it where it is for now. I have kind of a to-do item to think about ordering of functions in this file, in this class. So here's an it. We set our interval for the craps timer. We run that every second. We load in players.json. And so probably what's next is to say this dot combets 0 is equal to new map. I could try to make this a loop. Let's see here. So for var I is equal to 0, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. And if I is equal to 0 or let's wrap this whole thing with parentheses. So it's either it's equal to 0 or I is greater than 3 and I is not equal to 7. Let's wrap this in further parentheses. So I could either be 0 or greater than 3. Let's do greater than equal to 4. And I is not equal to 7. So that should hit all those options. And then we'll say this dot combets I is equal to that. Can we put this all on one line? Ooh, yeah. That's a little bit ugly. Let's take a look here. What was that? Initialize. So that gives us one liner to initialize the combets array. Let's do that notation, like an array notation. Let's see, indices. I think that's how we spell it. Let's ask Google. Plural of index. Indices are acceptable plural forms of the word index. Indexes are indices. With indices, and I think that is how I spelled it. I-N-D-I-C-E-S. Excellent. My IDE has a built-in spell checker, so I should probably just depend on it. If I did that, that should complain, right? No, maybe it doesn't have a built-in spell checker. I thought it did. Alright, so that initializes them. Up next is to just go through the code and see how we use them. Aha, so here is one. I think we can just use the same structure as before. So we're in line 126. Let's just grab this and go to line 126. Yeah, so let's just grab this line, paste it into here. So if this dot combets of I as username available balance minus equal this dot combets of I get username. Instead of initialize combats array, it is iterate over combats array. I'll do some testing on that, but I think that should work. Now let's keep moving on. Check the minimum balances. That should all be fine. Odds multiplier has not changed. I was pausing here for a second because the order of these was throwing me for a loop. I was like, why are these not in numerical order? But then I think in terms of greps, 4 and 10 are the same, 5 and 9 are the same, 6 and 8 are the same. That's why I did that particular order. But it took me a second. Nothing here that's affected by the combats. Process bets is fine. Show bet results. Process random roll. Process combat point. So here we're passing in the structure we're dealing with. And that should be fine. I don't think I need to change that. I probably could, but I'm going to ignore that for just the moment. Here we are. So here we need to do a 7 out. So we're on line 228. Let's go back to 126 and grab that. 228. Iterate over combats array. Here we only want to iterate over 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So we'll say I is equal to 0. Or, sorry, I is equal to 4. We can get rid of this first check, this I is equal to 0. We've got some duplicate parentheses. And then can we grab this? Will this fit on one line? Yeah, not quite. Let's just fix it up though. We might, we'll see. Probably not though. Yeah. This.combats of I. Well, actually, we can simplify this even further, because we don't need to check that I is greater than or equal to 4. We start at 4, so we can drop this check entirely. Then this might fit now. Let's try again. It does. Excellent. Perfect. I'm a big fan these days of trying to condense lines where possible, as long as they fit on one visible line. So here we have a for loop, an if statement, and the statement we're running. It all fits on one line, so it's all fine. It's all readable. Whereas before, what I used to do would be stuff like this. Oops, not like that. And then stuff like this. Taking one line and spread that over, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. But I have a nice monitor with a nice lengthy line length, 120 characters or so. Might as well use it, right? As long as it's readable. That's just the main concern there. All right, so moving on. Let's see here. So we have, if we have a combet winner, so a 7 or 11 is a combet winner. This is for the index 0, so let's do that. Just if we have a combet losers, this is again index 0. Migrate combats to their specific points, so we can steal this block here. Might be able to get this to fit on one line. Let's see if this works. Oh yeah, that's great. We need to get rid of that and go index sub I. If I can do that. Here. We got two separate sections there, so that's fine. We've got the comment here, and then we've got that there. So good so far. I'm happy so far. And then here we have this last check. What I could do is move this to a helper function. It's going to be tough to refactor this in place, but I can move this to a helper function. Let's just make one here. That process roll. Let's just put it down here. We'll just say bets exist. So what we could do is let's grab this and say if that is greater than 0, return true. Let's go fix up all of these here. Won't need all these combat ones, but oh, then we have this point, which obviously doesn't apply, so I'm going to delete that. This is just to check to see if we have any bets that exist. Maybe some excess space in here, which I'll clean up. Oops. And then we'll just yank this out. Oops. All right, and then we can refactor this section here. I think we can go back to our original line. So we're on line 347 here. Let's go to 126. Go to 347. Yeah, let's just grab this, see if I could fit this on one line. Maybe, maybe not. If combets index I, yeah, it's too much on one line. At the very end, if we haven't returned true, we can say return false. And now, let's see if we can simplify this. So we could say if bets exist, if no bets exist, and if the point is 0. Just thinking through that, seeing if that makes sense. I think it does. So if bets do not exist and there is no point, then we go through the logic. We check minimum balances, we write out our file, and then we stop our timer. Otherwise, if we do have bets, or if we have a point, we don't do any of that. Then for our bets, we have pass, pass odds, don't pass, and don't pass odds, and then all of our variants of come bets. And what else do we have here? So we have our chat processing, command processing. I don't think any of this is really going to affect anything at this point. We don't really do anything with come bets. Oh, we might have a little, actually. We'll have to see. We'll have to fix up at least one thing here. Yeah, so here we pass in come bets. We need to pass in come bets 0. I think that is it. We pass in the data structure, so that don't ever change that. We've got all of our checks that shouldn't matter. Oh, there might be one check here. We have pass bets, pass bets. I think we're good. Well, at this point, I'm just going to run through a couple of basic tests, probably let the random die roller do its thing, and we'll do some quick testing and make sure that all the basics work here. So yeah, let's go give it a try. It doesn't run. There's a problem here. This is line 316. Let's take a look at that. Yep, I am missing a extra parentheses there. There's another case I might want to simplify. I don't know. I saw this earlier, and I'd wrap that over 2 lines. We have this over 3 lines. We have this over a bunch of lines. I think I'm going to ignore that for just the moment. We could do similar logic for this that we did with iterating over the come bets. So I might do that refactoring. Well, let's look at it here. We've got the example. It's on my mind. I'll just do it now. Let's see if we can simplify some of this here. Try to limit the number of raw lines of code. And for this, I think we can look at our code down here. I don't think it's exactly what we want, but it'll be a starting point. So if die total is greater than or equal to 4, not 7, and if it is less than or equal to 10. So 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Anything less than 4 or greater than 10 will not be accepted, and 7 will not be accepted. So that should work. Simplify that. Get that down to 1 line. Let's try it again. Alright, doesn't like something here. This is line 338. Let's take a look. Oh, I missed a period, or sorry, a comma at the end of this function. It's not something I'm used to, but in this structure I do need a comma after every function. I'm not used to that, though. Okay, it runs. It's great. It runs. Ship it. Must be perfect. Let's take a look. Let's say craps, bets, pass line of 5 just to get the ball rolling there. Let's check my balance. See how much I got to play with. 493. Well, 488 is what I could play with. And if anyone does want to poke at the bot right now, you're welcome to do so. It is live for everyone. It's not just responding to myself. Nope, something crashed. Let's see what happened here. Line 219. Yep, okay. Let me look at this here. Say this.com bets. And to see if there's any that are not that are missing the index reference. Yep, here we go. Yeah, so this needs to go index sub 0. And this as well. That line is just barely fitting on one line. And then this as well needs a index sub 0. Alright, I think we've dealt with it all, so let's save and give that another try. Again, as last time, I'll start with a pass line bet. Craps bet pass for $5. Check my balance. And I think that might be what broke it last time. I'm not sure, though. No, I think it was rolling the dice that broke it, so we'll have to wait a little bit for the roll to fire, and then we'll see what it looks like. Oh, something broke here. Let me take a look. Oh, we have I not equal to 7. That should be die total not equal to 7. That's line 728. Let's take a look at line 728. What is... sorry, 278. Yeah, that's just copy pasta. The original code said I, but in this case it needs to be changed to die total. You can see I did it for the first check and the last check, but not the not equal to 7 check. We'll try it again. As before, we will do a pass line bet. 5, check my balance. Balance should remain the same because I don't actually lose any money until the bet gets resolved, so these crashes are not actually taking any money away or giving me any phantom money. I'll just wait a moment to see if this works. Alrighty, so we've got a point of 8. Let's do a come bet. I've got a test command through stream elements that lets them place a come bet and will allow us to test this. In the meantime, I'm going to do a craps bet pass odds of 50. I'll get my 10 times odds, full odds going there. Let's check my balance again. Actually, let's do a craps bet cum of 10 and check my available balance now, just to make sure that that handles it. So before, it was available balance of 438, and now it is 428. So yes, that pass bet, or that cum bet, is correctly taken out of my available balance. So that does seem to be working. And we'll wait a moment and let this run here and see what it does. Alright, so our point is 8. We rolled a 6. So our cum bet's moved to the 6th. Let me check my balance. I should still be at 428, so let's do another craps bet cum of 10. Check my balance one more time. Should be 418. Yes. Now we'll just wait a moment for this to resolve and see what it does. Alright, we've hit our point, so that'll cause me to win a bunch, which is great. Stream Elements won $5 as well. Interesting. Why did Stream Elements win $5? Oh. We might have a bug here. I'll let that continue to play out. I'm going to look up some code and see if I can identify the source of the bug, because people are winning where they shouldn't be winning. I just want to see what might be going on here. Oh my. Yeah, this is the problem here. First, let me clean up some of this here. Do the same kind of cleanup work we did before. This might actually be able to fit on one line. Nice. I don't think this will fit on one line here. Probably not. Nope, that's just a bit too much. Yeah, so to check this, let's go back over here. Let's do a git status, git diff. Yeah, so here we did if die total is 4, we process the 4 cum bets. If it's 5, we do the 5 cum bets. Now we're doing all the processing no matter what. What I need to do is, let's just grab it here. We don't need the iteration, we just do this and we substitute I for die total. Yeah, so that should do it. Let's go look at the diff again. Yeah, so we used to do if die total is 4, process 4. If it's 5, process 5. And so now the array, just let us condense that down to one line. Let's do another diff here. Yeah, there it is. One liner. So let's give that another try. We had some bugs here, so we'll just try it one more time and see if we encounter any further bugs. As before, start with a pass line bet. Wait a limit for the dice to automatically roll and see what happens. Alright, so we've rolled a point of 6. I'll run a test for our stream elements, let them place a come bet. I'm going to do craps balance. Well, let's do craps bet pass odds of 50, take my full odds. Do craps balance to see what my available balance is. Do craps bet come of 10. Check my balance one more time. My available balance is 513, so that does seem to be working for the basic come bet, which was working before. So I'm not surprised that's working. We've already kind of tested that, but I just like to test all the aspects of it while I'm doing my testing, make sure nothing breaks. What we need to do is make sure that the come bets are being moved to the right location. Alright, so we now hit 9, so we have our pass line of 9 and a come bet on the 9. Let's place another come bet. Actually, let's check my balance. Say craps balance should still be 513, and it is. And craps bet come of 10. And now it should be 503 as my available balance. Excellent. I'll just pause for a moment to see what this does. Alright, so we've hit our 9, so stream elements won 5 because they placed $5 on that come bet. I won 10, so let's place another come bet. I'll check my balance. Yeah, so I'm at 588 with an available balance of 523. So I've won 10 and I got my $10 bet back. So let's do another craps bet come of 10. And just keep poking at it. At this point, I'm just going to poke at it till we have a 7 out. Assuming that doesn't take too long. I can always force it. I do have admin tools to force particular die rolls, but I kind of like just kind of randomly testing various things here because it might come up with edge conditions I don't think of to test. It allows me to make sure that the overall logic is still working. So we got a 6. I think that's our point. Yes. So that means I win a bunch. And let's do another craps bet pass of 5. Check my balance. Yeah, so it looks like I have, what, 15 or 20, $25 in bets. So I must have my pass line of 5 and 2 come bets. It'd be nice if there's a way of seeing the come bets. But I haven't built up like a what bets do I have coming. Oh, something crashed here. What happened here? This is line 184. Process bets. Of course, I don't know where this came from. Let's see if there's a stack trace here. Process come bet point. Line 218. Let's check out 218. So process come bet point. We pass in come bets We pass in combets and bet 1, so where did this come from? That was line 218. We have process combets line 242. Oh. We must have done a die roll that is not a 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. And so we need to have some logic here. Let's check again what we used to have. We need an if. I need to say if the die total is within that range, and I think I have some logic here for that elsewhere. Actually, probably as part of process roll. I think I already did this once. Yeah, here we go. So we have die total is greater than or equal to 4, and die total is not equal to 7, and die total is less than or equal to 10. So let's just grab that. And we're on what line? Was it 252, I think? Or 242? Now that's too much for one line, so we'll just wrap that. Yeah, so only if the die total is 4, 5, 6, or 8, 9, 10. So greater than or equal to 4, less than or equal to 10, and not 7. And let's try that one more time. We'll start, as always, with a pass line bet. So say craps bet pass of 5. Let this run for a bit, and then I will set up my my come bets. Alright, so I've established a point of 4. Excellent. So say craps bet pass odds of 50 to get my full odds there. Then let's run the test command, so stream elements can place their bet. I'll check my balance. Available balance 523, and place my own come bet. So craps bet come of 10. And check my balance again. Yeah, I think the only thing we haven't tested at this point is the 7 out. So that's really the last thing to check, is once these come bets get moved to a specific point, we need to then verify that they all get lost correctly and removed correctly after a 7 out. So that's really the only thing left to check. So we've got a point of 4. Our come bets have moved to the 9, so let's do another test. Check my balance. $5.13 still. Excellent. So let's do craps bet com of 10. And should now go to $5.03. Excellent. Alright, so I've hit a point of 5, so we've got our point of 4, but we have a come bet on the 9, or is that a 9, I think? Yeah, 9, so let's do another test bet. Let's check my balance. So at 503, let's do craps bet come of 10. Check my balance one more time. Should be, what, 493 is my available balance. Excellent. Let this run for a bit longer. Alright, so I've hit our combat of 9. So stream almost 1.5, I 110. My balance is up to 588 and 513 now. Let's make another bet for stream elements and another bet for myself. So we've hit 10. I don't think we have any combats on the 10. Well, now we do. Let's do a test command. Check my balance. So I'm at 503 still. I didn't check my balance last time. So let's just do another combat of 10 and check my balance again. Oops. Down to 493. Hello, Steve Wood 1990. Welcome back to the stream. How's it going? You're catching me testing my crap spot here, so you're going to be competing a little bit with the chat messages for that. I lost money, no! So let's check my balance first. So my balance should have gone down to 578. My available balance is 493, so that looks good. We'll make my own combat. And see how that works. And Steve Void, if you want to play with the bot as well, you're welcome to do so. It is open to everyone. Although I certainly understand if you're just hanging out and don't really want to get involved with it. Alright, so we've hit our point of 4. Excellent. Well, that's a big money maker for me. I win 105 because I have my my pass line bet. So at this point, Steve, we do need to make a pass line bet. Since we do not have a point. Doesn't know how to play. Alright, no worries. There's this help. There's a player guide that'll give you a link as to how to play, but no worries. Probably not as much fun if you're not familiar with the game. And let me just bring up that player guide for everyone to see here. That actually links you to this page, which I've written. But this link up here, this Craps Basics, is going to be what gives you the most useful information for how to play. So I've hit a 6. We've not hit our point, so let's do another test. Try Got stream elements placed there, bet. I'll run my balance. So I have 683 with an available balance of 638. Let's do craps bet pass odds of 50. Oops. Craps bet pass odds of 50. And do my own pass line bet. Craps or come bet. Craps bet come of 10. Just wait a second for the dice to roll. There's about a 30-second delay after the last bet was placed. So I hit an 8. And my available balance is 578. I haven't checked that lately. I'll make my additional come bet here. So craps bet come of 10. So everything seems to be working at this point. The main thing to test is what happens if we get the 7 out, just to make sure that that doesn't crash and all the bets got cleared out properly. If 7 doesn't come soon enough, I may just force it. I do have an admin tool that allows me to force certain die rolls. But for now, just kind of doing some random die rolls allows me to test a view of various different things here. So stream elements 1, I 1. Let's do another bet for stream elements. Let's check my balance. So that looks good. It got up by 20. My balance is up by 10. Yeah, 30 seconds might be a little too fast for betting. It's okay for testing purposes, but for people who aren't familiar with the game or need time to think about it, 30 seconds seems like it might be a little too fast. We'll see. Alright, so we have a roll of 9, so I win. Stream Elements wins, and Steve Lloyd, I'm not sure what your point is on your come bet. My balance went up by 10, and my available balance went up by 10. That would have gone up by 20. Except I didn't run my balance beforehand, so it's probably still working. I haven't seen any issues with the balance, other than me forgetting to run it. Okay, so what happened here? We rolled a 3, so we all lost our come bets. So do another one for stream elements. Check my balance. I'm down to 693 and 588. I think that's correct. I need to remember to run my balance each and every time here so I can do the comparison. Might stop right at the balance though. That does seem to be working fine, so it's just extra spam that I could probably get rid of at this point. Alright, there is our 7 out, so this should cause us all to lose a bunch of money. I've lost my 95, see if we lost 5, stream almost lost 20. Let's check my balance again. Oops. You gotta remember the correct command, craps balance. 598, and I have no available balance, so that means I have no bets in place. So it looks like it is clearing out all of the cum bets properly. So great. That looks to be working. I'm going to wait about another 30 seconds or so to make sure it doesn't keep rolling. Because that's kind of the last place to check is the do bets exist check. That determines if it keep rolling. So once we verify that it doesn't keep rolling, then we should be fine. That looks good. I haven't seen any rolling yet. I'm going to continue on with the development work. And we'll just see what happens. I'll let the bot continue to run while I finish my work here. And if anything does happen, we'll see it. But otherwise, I think we're looking pretty good here. So I've just modified crapstable.js. This is basically just a refactoring where I've condensed down all of the different cum bet data structures into one sparse array. So I deleted all these individual maps and turned it into an array. And then we had to add initialization. So we initialize our sparse array with indexes 0, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. And then anywhere where we were manually iterating over all of those indexes, we do our for loop instead. Our for loop with this if. Get rid of the cum bet array indexes 0, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. This is to get available balances. And we have processing cum bets. Let's see, this didn't really change other than we had to reference the correct index, so index 0 rather than just the data structure. And same down here as well, and down here. Then here we had logic for handling a 7 out. We used to manually process each and every one of those. Now we have an iterator. I is equal to 4, I is less than equal to 10, I plus plus. And then we have this if I is not equal to 7, then we process the bets. So we process 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, everything but 7. Check to see if we have a cum bet winner. I think this hasn't really changed. Okay, no, we did turn this all into one line, but the main thing is we added the index sub 0 there. Here, we've reformatted this into one line, at least to check the if is into one line. I wonder, can I make this one line as well? What line are we on here? Right around line 225 or so. Let's take a look at that. I think it was this process bets at last. Maybe it looks like there's more room on my console window than in my my IDE window. So it looks like it would fit here, but I obviously don't have that much space in my IDE window. So that was here. Migrate cum bets to their specific points. So we used to have a series of ifs for 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and now we just simply do if it's greater than or equal to 4, not equal to 7, and less than or equal to 10, then we process it and pass in the die total. So it simplifies this as well. Here's just a pure refactoring, not even refactoring, just kind of pure formatting. We We collapse this if check into one line. Same with this if check, one line. This if check, with all my checking for the iteration of the come-bets array, I realized I could simplify this down to one line as well, so I did that. If die total is greater than or equal to 4, not 7, and less than or equal to 10. So it's the same thing as this, but we could do that all in one line. And here we have this check. We're checking to see if any bets exist and if the point is 0. Sorry, if no bets exist and if the point is 0. And to allow refactoring, I moved this block checking the bets to a new function called bets exist, which is down here. And we have the same basic checks. We check pass bets, pass odds, dpass, or don't pass odds, and then for the come bets, we do a nice little iterator here to do that. We check 0, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. If any one of those hits, we return true, otherwise return false at the very end. Then process chat commands. This is to process our bet command. And we pass in the hard-coded 0 index for this. And that all looks great. And I've gone through the whole explanation without any die rolling, so we know that the die rolling is working correctly now. Because we have strong confidence that it's working. So refactor the data structures for come bets. Into a sparse array. Just add a little more detail as to what we did there. Well, it's nice to see. So with all of that, we had 43 insertions and 61 deletions. So with all those changes, we deleted 18 lines of code. Not a lot, but it's always nice to see code go away and the same functionality maintained. Always nice to have a refactoring that manages that. What's next? The next on my list is the don't come bet. This is identical to the don't pass with the same restrictions as the as the come bet, in that you can only place that bet or make that bet after you have a point. But otherwise it works identically to the don't pass. And it's the opposite of the come. So in this case, a 2-3 is a loser, a 7-11 is a winner, 4-5-6, 8-9-10 sets a point, and you need to hit a 7 before you hit the point in order to win. The only exception between the come and the don't come is if you roll a 12, that's a loser for the come, but as a push for the don't come. That's the only difference between the two. So let's go take a look at how that would work. Now, the same as the come bets, we're going to do another sparse array for this. It's a d-come bets. Now let's just go through our list of stuff. Let's start with placing the bets first. Let's start with placing the bets. We'll start there and work our way down with the logic. So let's just think this through. This is where we place our bets. We have come, and now let's add don't come. I've been using the abbreviation D for don't. Now, how our bet handling works is I have a lot of logic in this handle bet function that handles things. It does parsing of the amount and verifies, verifies that you specified an amount, verifies you're able to parse it, verifies it is greater than 0, verifies you have available funds for it, make sure that you haven't made the bet once already. Then we have check function, if that is defined, so it's not undefined. We then run the check function, and if that returns true, we're good. If it returns false, we return. And so right now, for the come, we pass in this points check. Where is it? Oops, I went too far. We pass in point check for the check command, or the check function, What does that do? Especially checks to make sure that we have a point, which is obviously what you want for a don't come, but there's other checks as well to consider. For example, let's go look up the don't pass check. Okay, looks like it is. Looks like that's the only check actually. Looks like you. Yeah, so don't pass. You cannot bet don't pass when a point is set. That's a casino rule. The come out roll, the come out roll of the don't pass bet is really the best bet in the entire casino because a 7 or 11. Well, let's see. Don't pass. Cannot bet to don't pass. All right, okay. Yeah, so sorry. The come out roll for a don't pass is one of the worst bets in the casino because there's a lot of ways to lose, but not a lot of ways to win. Because a automatic loser for the don't pass is a 7 or 11. An automatic winner is a 2 or 3. And so there's a lot of ways to roll a 7, but there's very few ways to roll a 2 or a 3. And so, one strategy one might think of is, well, let's wait until a point is established and then place the don't pass bet. Well, casinos don't allow you to do that because where they make their money is on that first roll. Once you get past that first roll and you've established a point, then you're actually looking pretty good. Your odds are much more in your favor at that point. And so the rule that they enforce is you can't place a don't pass bet once a point is set. Now, in our case, every time you place a don't come bet, that is always without a point, and as soon as a point is made, your don't come bet moves to a point, and so we don't really need that check. I think the only real check is to make sure that we do not have a point, same as the come bet. So I don't think there's anything else to change here. Actually, some other things to do is we need to add initialization of the don't come bets. Let's do initialize come bets arrays. And so now we're going to need to have a compound statement here. Because we're initialize come bets, and now we're going to initialize the decome bets as well. Plus, there's the get available balance. So let's go look up the get available balance function. Get over come bets arrays, and we'll do it here as well. If decome bet sub I has username, the available balance is minus equal decome bet sub I. Now there's also the roll check. Let's look at the roll check. This route must be down below. All this bet processing stuff, I'm going to leave that for the moment until I'm ready to hit that. Process die roll. Yeah, so here we're going to have our bets exist. So if decome bets sub I exists, return true. I think that's all of the basics. So I'm just do a quick test of this, make sure we're able to place the bet. And all the other air handling works. So just some quick air handling checks. So first I say craps bet don't come. Well, let's just do no bet at all, make sure that still works. So craps bet, specify which bet you wish to make. All right, well, craps bet don't come. You must specify an amount. All right, craps bet don't come kappa. I don't want to parse the bet. For some reason, kappa isn't a valid amount. Craps bet decom 0. Bet is too small. Craps bet. Then we can exceed my balance. So decom will say 1,000 because I'd have less than 1,000. Bet exceeds your available balance of 598. Although my testing keeps growing that amount through testing and bugs, I keep getting more money. So now let's place the bet. Say craps bet don't come of 5. You need a point first. Okay. So now let's get a point. We'll say craps bet pass line of 5. Force a point here. Craps roll 2-2. So point roll 2-2-4. We've established a point of 4. Now we can say craps bet don't come for 5. Alright, craps balance. Make sure that that works. We have our pass line bet of 5 and our come bet of 5. So our available balance is 10 less. So yes, that does work. The rolls will continue to happen in the background, but they won't actually resolve. They definitely won't resolve the don't come bets because we haven't added that logic yet, and it will continue to roll indefinitely because we never resolve those don't come bets. So we did 7 out. Let's see here. Let's try this again. There's one other thing I forgot to test. We'll say craps bets pass of 5. Craps roll 2-2, just to get another roll here. And now let's make a don't come bet. So craps bet don't come of 5. You've already made this bet. Excellent. So yeah, so all the checks work, which I expected they do. We've kind of gotten those down pretty good at this point. I'm going to stop the bot because it's just going to keep running in the background, and really no point to that. So now it's time to start thinking through what bets win and lose, how to process the don't come bets on a particular roll. So we already have a process come bets. Process come bet point, process come bets, die total. Yeah, so here, this is a winner for come bets, but a loser for don't come bets. Let's add in this is a loser for come bets and a winner for don't come bets. So let's see here. Yeah, I think it's just bet 1. I kept thinking of odds for some reason. We're not handling odds yet, so we don't have to worry about weird multipliers. It's just you win if you 7 out on a come bet. On a don't come bet. You lose if you 7 out on a come bet. So, oops, I got this backwards. So we lose on the come bet. We win on the don't come bet. Check to see if we have a come bet winner. So a 7 or 11 is a come bet winner. But it is a don't come loser. Come on. Did that wrong. Let's line that end up. Check to see if we have a come bet loser. Alright, so this is a little bit tricky because the 12 is a push. Let's go look up what we do for the pass line. Yeah, this is what we did here. So we just add in an additional check of die total 12. So if die total is 12, we'll say this process bets don't come bets, and we lose. And then here we migrate come bets over to their specific points. So we iterate over all of the points, 4, 5, 6. Well, not over all of them, we just do it for the specific die total. But it could be 4, 5, 6, or 8, 9, 10. Anything but 7, and anything, well, greater than or equal to 4, not 7, and less than or equal to 10, basically. I think at this point we could just update this function. So let's go look up that function. Process come bet point. So here, if you hit the point, that is a winner for come bets, but a loser for don't come bets. So let's turn that into a loser. And then we copy over all of the come bets to their specific points. We can do the same thing for don't come bets. So for this of d come bet sub 0. Oh. Okay. Yeah, so we need to rethink this. These changes are not correct because what's happening is we pass in come bets. So we pass in the data structure we want to process. What we kind of need to do at this point is pass in the die total. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's grab this check. Copy that into there. We'll put something in here for eventually. This will be die total. And before I proceed, let's also fix up this call here. This will be just pass in die total. Alright, let's take a look. So we've passed in die total. We'll just move this into this block here. And then rather than passing in come bets, we're going to do this come bets of die total. This come bets of die total. So this means the come bets for that die total win. The don't come bets lose. Alright, so here we iterate over username of the underlying combets. In this case, we want to... I think I saw this on my clipboard. We'll see. That should be... Nope, not on my clipboard any longer. It'd be this combets of die total. Reset username. This combets 0.get username. And obviously it doesn't fit on one line any longer. It's way bigger than that. So this is copy combets over to their respective point. Then we'll do the same for the don't combets. Copy don't combets over to their respective point. This changes a little bit. We'll say don't come, and this don't come. Clear out come and don't come bets. Just taking a second to look through all this here. So we pass in die total for every single case. If die total is greater than or equal to 4 and not 7 and less than or equal to 10, then we go into this function. We make it so that every combet for that point wins. Every don't come for that point loses. Then we copy over the come bets, copy over the don't come bets, then we clear out the come and don't come bets. I think that's good. Then we'll check the we'll check the rest of the die logic here, the rolling logic. So if we roll a 7, that is a 7 out for combets. So combets lose, but don't combets win. 7 or 11 is a winner for the raw combets, but a loser for the raw don't combets. Trying to see if we have a loser. A 2 or a 3 is a flat out loser for combets. Well, 2, 3, 12 is flat out loser for combets. If die total is, for don't combets, a 12 is a push, so we need to do an additional check on 12. Oh, and we need to reverse this. We need to say you win for don't come. Then process migrate come and don't combets, so there are specific points. Nothing else changes in here. Everything else in the process die roll is all about the pass, don't pass, and odds. I've moved the combet process into its own function because this was just getting too unwieldy, and I may still move some stuff out because we have a bunch of stuff here. We've got all this for the raw die roll, then we have all these checks for if we have a point. So, I don't know. We'll see. Huh. wrong here. If we have no point... We have no point. Otherwise, we check to see if we've... Okay, I think it makes sense. I think it works. Just had to think about it for a second. But I think because of the ordering, it does work. My thought is we probably have a... We have a block for if we have no point. You know, this is the block for if we have no point. And then this is the block for if we do have a point, but we have these two else ifs that are keyed off of the check if we have a point. And it's like, well, shouldn't these be combined into a sub-block? But because of the order, we only go here if we don't have a point. We only go here if we don't have a point, and it's not this, so it works. But if I ever make a separate function, to handle this, I'll rethink that process. So let's check the other stuff. I think we've looked at bets exist. Let's just glance at that here and make sure that does work. Yeah, so we've added come bets, and well, we've already had come bets. Now we've added don't come bets, and then we have process check commands. I think the only other place is the get available balance. Let's go see where that is. Yeah, we've added. We have come bets and we've added don't come bets. So I think we've added everything I could think of. Do a quick check and just make sure if we've grabbed it all. As we've don't come bets. We've updated the initialization. Balance. Process come bet point. This changed quite a bit. Instead of passing in the structure directly, we pass in the die total. We do our own check to see if we should process anything. Basically, check on the die total. And then we access the data structures ourselves rather than rely on them being passed in. We've added this on come bet. Don't come bets. They lose if you hit the point. Copy over come bets, copy over don't come bets, and the clear out come and don't come bets. Process come bets. Okay, so here we process the come bets. You lose if you hit a 7, you win. Sorry, you lose on 7 for the come bets, you win for a don't come. Come bet winner. You win on a 7 or 11, you lose. Sorry, you win with a come bet, lose on the don't come for 7 11. Come bet loser. If you so you lose on a 2, 3, or 12 for a come bet, you win on a 2 or 3 for a don't come. 12 is a push. That's why you have the extra check on 12. Migrate come bets to their specific points. This just got a lot simpler. We moved this check to that function, because why not? It didn't really matter any longer. Let's see, here we've, so this is the bets. We've added in come and don't come to our bets exist. We've added the don't come bet processing there. We've already tested that. So at this point, I think we just have to test the bet handling. Make sure the bets are properly won and lost. So I'll start us out, say craps bet pass of 5. Oops. Actually, before I do that, let me update my stream elements configuration. So the test command will now issue a don't come bet. There, that should be done. Let's go give that a try. It should complain because we have a point, but we'll also at least test this. So now let's place a pass line bet, craps bet pass of 5. Wait for that to proceed, and then we'll start testing the don't come. Unfortunately, that we had a crappy roll there, so let's try this again. Craps bet pass of 5. And I'll try this one more time. If it fails yet again, I'll force a roll to let us get a point. But for now, I kind of like just allowing it to kind of test things randomly, because it will potentially hit more edge conditions or more test cases than I will do testing it manually. Interesting, we had a bit of a conflict there. Actually, no conflict. We still have another 7. Okay, let's force a point at this point. So we'll say craps bet pass 5. And we'll say craps roll 2-2 to get our points. Let's do a test. I'm gonna check my balance. Craps bet don't come of 10. And we'll see what that does. Let's check my balance again here, make sure my balance is still set. So my balance was 598, 593, now it's 598, 583. So yes, the get available balance does seem to be working. We'll test that again once I get my don't come bet on a specific point. So 7 out. So we both lost our come bets, or sorry, don't come bet. Stream Elements had a come bet of 5. I had a come bet of 10, which I lost. We both lost those. I also had a pass line bet of 5 that I also lost because I 7'd out there. So that's a pretty bad loss. Let's try this again. Let's get another pass bet going. So craps bet pass of 5. Make sure this still doesn't, or this still works correctly. Yep, looks good. But we're getting all these weird rolls here. I'll try this one more time. Craps bet pass of 5. We had a really good roll earlier that allowed me to test a bunch of stuff, so a little frustrated we're not getting it now, but I can always just manually do it if we need to. Save the random testing for kind of later. Alright, let's start our more directed testing. So craps bet pass of 5. Let's get a roll of 2-2, so we have a point of 4. Do a test. I'm going to check my own balance, craps balance. So 583 with an available balance of 578. I'm going to do my own bet. Craps bet don't come of 10. And let's do a point of 4. So craps roll 2, 3, sorry, 5. Point of 5. So let's do a test for stream elements. Let's check my own balance. So it's still 583, and I've dropped off 10 off my available balance. Let's do a point of 6. Craps bet or roll 3, 3. Another test from queued tests. And one, let's check my balance. Still 583 and 568. Because I didn't place a bet. So craps bet don't come of 10. Balance is now 558. Let's do a craps roll of, let's hit our point of 5. So 2, 3 to hit that. We should both lose. My balance should be down by 10, but my available balance should be the same. And now let's do a 7 out. So craps roll 3, 4. And I should win and lose something. I won 5, so I have a pass line bet of 5 that I lost, but a don't come bet of 10 that I won. So I won 10 overall. Let's check my balance, make sure that that's been cleared out. Yeah, so it looks like it's working. Haven't done kind of a thorough check here, but more or less seems to be working. So let's do a quick check here. Let's do a craps bet pass of 5. It's got a point here of whatever, it doesn't really matter. Craps roll 3, 3. Then let's do a don't come for stream elements. Now let's set a point of 4 for that. So craps roll 2, 2. Actually, no, let's do 6 for that. Which means we have no point, but we do have a bet. And so this is just a test that the die rolls will continue to be automatic, even though we have no point. Because we have no point, but we still have a bet that needs to be resolved. So we'll just test that. We need to roll until we either hit a 6 or a 7. We'll just see what that does. And I'm just going to roll manually here. Oops. I could do a random roll. There's our 8. 5. Waiting for a 6 or a 7. Well, I do want to test the automatic rolling. I guess I did test other ones. I don't know. I want to do the automatic rolling and see if it does continue to roll until we get this bet resolved. Hopefully it won't take too long here. Then once that is resolved, it should stop rolling. There's that 5 again. We're looking for a, I think it's a 6 or a 7. A 10 will be a pass line winner, but it won't resolve the actual don't come bet that we have. Here's the 11. So I want to test a couple things here. Let's do a test here. Say craps roll 5, 6. This should be a loser for stream elements. I say craps roll 1, 1. This should be a winner. Oh. We have a bug. Interesting. So let's take a look here. So this is line 192. var result equals bet result. This probably needs to be bet result is not a function. Interesting. Who called this? Line 271 called this. Oh yeah, we did bet win, but it should be bet 1. And that's exactly where it is. This is we rolled a 2, and it should have been an automatic win, but we screwed up. Not sure I haven't done that anywhere else. Looks like that's the only place. Well, let's try that one more time. So we'll do a similar setup. Let's just do a pass line bet to get the ball rolling here. So craps bet pass of 5. We'll do a craps roll of 2, 2 to get a point of 4. And we'll do a test roll or a test bet. Let's set a point of 10. Oops. Then let's do a craps roll of 2, 2 to clear out that point. So this will cause me to win, but we still have a don't come bet placed by stream elements on the 10. Let's do a roll, craps roll 3, 3. And now let's do another don't come and test on a 1, 1. So craps roll 1, 1. That should be an automatic winner. Excellent. Then craps roll 1, 2. Automatic winner. Okay. Then craps, let's do another test. Craps roll 6, 6. Should be nothing. Shouldn't win, shouldn't lose. And that bet should still exist, so if I do another test, you've already made this bet. So the bet doesn't go up, doesn't get won, doesn't get lost, it just stays there. I see there's the 11. Oh, it thought that through for me and just rolled the 11. So excellent. So the automatic win goes. If we do a craps roll 3, 4, this will be. Oops, I needed to get a point first. Let's do roll craps roll 2, 2. We have a point of 4. Let's do a test. Interesting. So one of the messages, new point established 4, did not come through. Interesting. Wonder why that is. Now let's test a winner. So craps roll 3, 4. 7 out. Stream element should win. All right, so let's go back to the original test. We'll say craps roll 2, 2, just establish a point of 4. Then we'll say test. So we bet, we got a don't come bet, and then we'll say craps roll 5, 5. So they don't come, we'll go to a point of 5. Now let's hit R4, so craps roll 2, 2. That'll resolve any come bets, although I didn't place a come bet, I'm kind of cheating a little bit. And so now we're going to just test the automatic die roll. And we have a don't come bet, and it should, don't come bet on the point of 10, and it should keep rolling until we either hit that 10 or we roll a 7. So we'll just test that now and see how long it takes to make those rolls. We hit it right away. Well, that makes testing nice and easy, so we'll just wait another 30 seconds or so and see if it keeps rolling after this. Right, so we have a point now, so it's going to keep rolling because we have the point of 10. So it's still correct behavior, I just forgot that that's the correct behavior. So we still need to wait until it resolves this point. So this point we still need another 10, or we need a 7 out. Okay, there's our 7, so this will be a 7 out. That'll clear out the point. And then there should be no other bets. We've already cleared out the don't come on the 10. We lost that. We have no point. We have no come bets, no don't come bets, no pass line bets, so it should be done at this point. I'll just let it sit for another 30 seconds or so, and we'll proceed after that. But the music seems to have gotten real quiet all of a sudden about the time I stopped talking while waiting for this. Alright, well, it's been over 30 seconds. We haven't seen another die roll, so I think we're looking pretty good. I'm going to keep that running while I do my commit over on this window. We've already looked over most of this, but we'll just kind of glance over it one more time, just do a quick code review. We've added our sparse array for don't come bets. We've added initialization. We've split this over 2 lines now because we're just making use of the same loop and the same if logic, and we just initialize don't come bets at the same time as we initialize our come bets. And then we have updated this a little bit. Since we have multiple arrays, we just say arrays as opposed to array. And otherwise we simply add don't come bets to this logic here. I think this is get available balances. Yeah, we're adjusting available balances. Process come bet points. This got changed pretty dramatically. We now pass in a die total rather than the data structure directly. And to make the calling code simple, we do a check on the die total and make sure that the die total is one of our points. It's either 4, 5, 6 or 8, 9, 10. So greater than or equal to 4, but not 7, and less than or equal to 10. And then what we had before is we come bets won, so come bets still win, and now don't come bets lose. We copy come bets over to the respective point. We copy don't come bets over to the respective point, and then we clear out the come and don't come bets. And so we've modified our logic here for processing the 7 roll for come and don't come. Basically, we reuse the same iterator, and come bets lose and don't come bets win. Then to check to see if we have a come bet winner. So a 7 or 11 is an automatic come bet winner for come bets, but it's a loser for don't come bets. So we've added in don't come bets there, and just had to reformat this a little bit, make it a compound statement. For 2, 3, or 12, that is still a loser for come bets, but only a 2 or 3 or a winner for don't come bets. Everything else, or the 12 is a push. That's why you have the extra check on 12. This is the process come bet point. We used to have this if statement. We moved that to the process come bet point function. We used to pass in the data structure. Now we simply pass in the die total and let that function handle all the logic. Nice and simple there. This is the logic to see if we have... what is this? If we have bets. So we've already checked come bets, but we've added don't come bets to this. Then finally we've added in processing for the don't come bet. The only logic we had to check is to make sure that we did not have a point. So I just want to look at this real fast. What does point check do? So we have point check. If point is 0, okay. Yeah, I was wondering if I could replace the dpass check with a point check, but this is the opposite. You can only make this bet when there is no point. So that's fine as is. If we have future checks, future bets that require a similar thing that can only be made when there is no point, we can revisit that. Like a fire bet is probably one of those. Maybe no, fire is a weird one because it needs to be like the first roll of a series. Maybe I'll have to think about that, but for now I think it's good as is. So let's keep it the way it is. Let's do a get log because I just want to pull out the phrasing I use for other bets. Add support for don't come bet. All right. Now let's go ahead and push that to GitHub if you want to look at my code. It is all available on GitHub, github.com/cudepixel/twitch-crapspot. I'll bring that up on my web browser here. It's all right here, and the latest changes I just pushed should be available. Excellent. 24 seconds ago, there they are. Let's go see what's next. So we've done don't come. Now it's time to start thinking about the odds, the come odds, the don't come odds, place, field, hard ways, proposition. I think odds is next. Unfortunately, I have kind of I have to end the stream a little early today. I've got a meeting going on a little bit later. I need to prepare for it, so I think this is a pretty good stopping point. The come odds and don't come odds will be a little complex, and I'm not sure I'll be able to wrap those up in time. So I'm going to end it at this point. My next stream will be on Sunday, February 24th at 9 a.m. So hopefully you can tune in then. Thank you for watching today, and I will catch you next time.